All right, take it away, Susie.
Bonjour, Nance and Dishkas Magazine and Dotem. Hello, my Western name is Suzanne Nash, and I am from Bois Forte. I reside here in the urban area in the Twin Cities. Actually, I live in Hugo, a little bit north of the Twin Cities. And I'm grateful today to be here to share with you how I was taught to make the tobacco pouches. I'll just give you a little bit of background, and I work at Indigenous Peoples Task Force, and I work with youth around prevention around commercial tobacco, alcohol, and drugs. And this lesson that I'm going to do with you today is out of our curriculum. I won't do the full lesson because we won't have enough time, but this is what I do with the kids. Teaching them to reclaim traditional tobacco, to claim a space for traditional use, change their relationship if they are smokers from commercial tobacco to traditional use, to change that relationship. So normally I start off with a tobacco ceremony and a smudge. So I am going to start off like that because this is how I start off every one of my sessions. I start off meetings, anything we do at work group wise, we always start off with the tobacco ceremony. I was taught as a little girl that everything we do starts with tobacco. Asema is first. So I try to incorporate that and teach our youth that, since, you know, for so long we could not practice using traditional tobacco. And that's why, you know, we began using commercial tobacco and we have such high rates today, is because of that. Was against the law, we couldn't do it, and just became a way for us to use tobacco. So hopefully we'll change some mindsets and change that relationship. So I have tobacco here with me. It's we grow our own traditional tobacco. We've been growing it since 2000. As you can see, it's different from what commercial tobacco looks like. It's green. It's just pure tobacco. So I'm gonna smudge. You're welcome to join me. Grab your smudge, grab your tobacco if you want, and we'll start off in a good way, and then we'll go into the teachings of the commercial tobacco.
And if you don't have smudge with you, that's okay as well. You can just join in. And then I in the kits as well, I included some tobacco ties. Those were those 4 colors.
Bonjour, Nance and Dishikas Magazine and Dotem. For my salmon say miigwech for this medicine that I have today. Miigwech for everybody that has joined us in the circle. I also want to pray for the 4 directions, for the land, for the water, for the 4-legged. I also want to offer my prayers for all of our youth and all of our families who might be sick with COVID right now, or trying to find a place to sleep or eat. I offer my prayers for those who are struggling with chemical abuse and misuse, for our mentors and for our ancestors who paved the way for us to be here today, for our cultural teachings that have been gifted to us, for my children, and for my mom, my family, and I say miigwech for today. So does anybody, how we do it is we're usually in a circle and we give an opportunity for those to open it up to offer their prayer out loud. If you want to share with the group here, introduce yourself and say what you want to pray for. I welcome you to doing that today if you like.
Hello. So Usual investigation cause payment go. I cannot go join in. Probably no Deutsch bin on a Gijrayan. Hello everybody. My name is Peyton. And I'm just saying I apologize if I made any mistakes speaking. But I just want to offer my prayers today for Suzanne for taking the time to join us and share the knowledge and share the work that she does. I appreciate that she's doing that. I appreciate everyone here that you guys all took time to share this space with us. I know it's weird and hard to do things virtually sometimes. So I'm thankful that you guys took time to be able to be present with us. And my prayers go out to the water and to the snow. I'm grateful for it. I'm ready for spring. But yeah, just praying for safety and safe travels as everyone kind of deals with the new snow that recently came to us. So miigwech mi'eu. That's it for me. Does anybody else want to share? It's okay if you don't.
All right. Yes, Peyton said miigwech for giving us the space here today. I just want to iterate, like, this is the teachings that I know, what I was taught. And every tribe may do things differently, or they may use kanshasha or red willow combined it in with tobacco as well. So I encourage you to, if you have questions, or to ask your relatives or your ancestors and the way they do it, or everybody does things differently. And even as far as like the tobacco pouches that we have here today, there's all different kinds, different styles, different ways of making it. And so I always try to make it easy as possible with this, because we work with youth, and sometimes having needles is not always the greatest. It's hard, and sometimes the leather is too tough and you can't get it in. So we always try to come up with a different way to do it. So, but you're welcome to taking that pattern and making it to how you want it. We just added like a few beads on here. You can add more beads, you can dress it up, you can draw on them, and make it so that it's yours, it fits your personality. So what we're going to do is you're just going to take that sinew or the leather, whichever you have is going to be easiest for you. If you have the sinew, like I made this one today quickly, and I just want to say, like, it was kind of difficult in the beginning because the sinew wanted to unravel, right? So if you're going to use that, I would take that sinew and kind of peel it, so it's a thinner, so it will go into those holes easier. I troubleshooted today since I was going to be working with you guys on Zoom. This is hard. I've never done it on like this format before. Usually we're in a group and we're eating and we're playing some powwow music and we're laughing. So I really want you to get comfortable and start. If you want to chat. If you want to, talk while we're doing this, ask questions, feel free. We want to make this as comfortable as possible. And as Native people, one of the things we're always good at is eating and sitting around together and chatting and having a good time and going back and forth. So this new norm of doing this on Zoom is kind of hard. So please chime in and say something or ask a question or help us feel comfortable. So thank you. And I would just take that, and you're going to start off at the top part where the bay comes together there. And you're just going to start weaving it in and out. You're going to start at the top, come through the back, then go back in. You're just going to keep doing it like that. See, Peyton has kind of started it. And now you're going to weave it in and out there. Oh, you're on mute.
I said I was just using the leather. Wait, hold on. Just to, so it'd be easier to see. Sorry, this filters does not help, but
Yeah.
that's like the entry hole.
Yep.
These are mouth to mouth. Then you kind of going, you could go this way or you could wrap it around this way. Or how does that make sense? Like
Yeah.
that, you know?
You could do it that way too. And what I found out today is, when you start threading it through, I do one hole at a time and then do the next hole. Cause earlier I was trying to do both, keeping
Oh,
it
like-
together, trying to put it through, and it just was tough.
Like one side, you mean? And then do the other side? Like,
No, like if you,
I see.
you put it through and then put it through the other side instead of holding
Oh.
it together and pushing it
Oh.
through. Yeah, but it all depends, whichever way works easy for you. You're just gonna loop them in and out.
Right.
I put a hole and a bead in the top, as you can see, because that'll help keep the flap down when it's hanging, so you don't have to tie it through. But if you want to, you would put, when you're done looping it, you'd put 2 holes in the front and then tie it that way.
When did tobacco pouches come about? Or like, why are they used?
So, they were used for communication to the spirit world. It opens up the door to allow communication to take place. Offered it for prayers, for prayers, for family, for friends. Tobacco pouches were also made for safety, to wear around your neck to ward off any bad energy, bad spirits. Because when you put that tobacco in there, it help keep you safe. But you can also put cedar and sage and sweetgrass in there. And sometimes you can put in there a small stone or a rock, like the 7 grandfathers. You could put a small stone and a rock in there as well. I've had kids do that, and we've done that before too.
Mhm.
Offering the same is also used for traveling. So a lot of people may not wear it all the time, or they might wear it when they're traveling. As long as you have tobacco on you, it'll help keep you safe. And also when you, they'll also make tobacco pouches maybe slightly bigger to carry when you're walking and praying for the water. Is if you see sometimes dead animals along the road as you're walking, you offer that a same for that animal. But also for the water. So those pouches are used for many different things. And sometimes elders will have requests that you do the tobacco ties as well instead of the pouches. And I think Peyton sent you some cloth. And these are the tobacco ties. So tobacco ties, yeah, you can string them. Yep, like you can do them individually or you can string them. And certain ceremonies will require so many tobacco ties. You might be, they might tell you that you need to make 7 of them. You need to make 7 of those ties that represent something. Or you may be told, because you're having some kind of healing ceremony, they may need to tell you that you need to make 7 colors of yellow, 7 of white, 7 of black, of each one of those teachings, them 7 grandfathers. Or there's been times where we told we need to make 200 for a ceremony that we were going through, or maybe somebody's passed away, or a naming that's happening. So each spiritual leader will have certain things that they'll have you do. If they'll tell you to make these tobacco ties, and they'll tell you how many you need to make. I always make one for traveling, and I carry it in my pocket if I don't want to wear my pouch. Sometimes wearing your pouch is, they'll be like, you have to take that off, you can't wear it, or when my son was little and he had his on in school and they have a no tobacco policy, they were trying to make him take it off because they don't allow any kind of tobacco on the premises. They have so I had to go to the school because he was told that nobody can ever touch this but you. This is yours. It's a sacred item. It's sacred. And he wouldn't take it off. So they put him in the principal's office and I had to go. And I had to explain to them, like, in here is sacred medicine. These are gifts that were given to us. I said, our gift was tobacco. And the creator gifted us with that tobacco plant stood up and said he would be the medium between us and the creator. Europeans were given the gift of wafer and the holy water or wine. That was their gift for church, and that's what they did. And so I always try to explain that scenario so that people understand this was our gift. This is what was given to us, and this is what we do. We offer it at when we want somebody to do something, we want a favor, or we want somebody to help us. So we offer them that tobacco. We can give it to them loose and offer it in their hands, or we can, a lot of times they like it if you give it to them in one of these ties, because then they can keep it and then they will use it and put it out for something. A lot of times, like I said, we use it for traveling. We use it for prayers, but we don't always have to do it for a prayer or for a sad or a ceremony. Tobacco can be used simply for gratitude, for having a great day, for feeling good, sending that message to the creator, like, I'm grateful for today. I'm grateful I woke up. I'm grateful for food that I have on the table. It doesn't necessarily have to be ceremony. It doesn't necessarily have to be just when you're sad or worried about something. It's a great way to start the day. I try and practice putting it out every day. Honestly, I may not remember every day because I'm rushed in the morning. As we all know, we're trying to get out the door and do things. So I'm the first one to say that I don't do it all the time, but I try and practice offering that asema to greet the day, or maybe it's to change my mood, or to pray, or pray for loved ones. So it's a spiritual journey and it's very sacred. We also have seeds. If anybody's interested in growing their own tobacco, we also have a video that we show on how to do that. And it's really a good idea. An elder told me to pick your own sage, grow your own tobacco, grow your own sweetgrass. When you grow your own medicines, it's that much more sacred. And so we began growing tobacco in 2000, and we grow it every year. And so we hang it up, we dry it, we process it, and we make sure that we have it for all of the kids when we do our programming. Or somebody in the community or the elders might need some. So it's a really good practice to thinking about growing your own tobacco and having your own medicines. I'm just going to tell you a short story about the tobacco ties. The one thing I know is tobacco is very powerful. And the story that I'll share with you is what happened to me when I had a pouch. I went to Montana to do a conference and to help with this curriculum. They're writing a curriculum on Keep It Sacred, it's called. And they're teaching kids about tobacco and traditional tobacco. And there was a curriculum they wanted us to update. So I went down to Montana by myself. I made myself a tobacco tie before I left because I knew I'd be staying in a hotel by myself. What I didn't know was that hotel was going to be the hotels that face outside instead of like you go in, there's a reception area. It's the kind that are like face the street. And I was used to traveling, but sometimes I didn't like traveling by myself. Well, I was kind of nervous that night, and I'm not sure really why. And I pulled out my tobacco tie and I placed it under my pillow that night before I went to sleep. And I also put some tobacco outside my doorway. So an elder told me, if ever you're afraid and you want to ward off bad spirits, you put that tobacco outside your door. So I did. I took a little bit and I set it right outside my hotel door. And then I went to sleep with this. But I got up the next day, went about my day, and I forgot to grab it. And I thought, oh no, housekeeping's going to come in. And I thought, dang, I think I left it under the pillow. So I got done and I went back, and sure enough, it was still under my pillow. So I was grateful, right? The second day I got up and I left it again. And I came back that day and it was gone. It wasn't there. And I was like, I could just feel this got anxiety kicked in, and I'm thinking, what happened to that pouch? Where is it? Tore the room apart. I had security called them and asked the front desk, like, could somebody have entered my room? And I said, the only people that would have entered that room were the cleaning ladies. And they came and moved the bed because they thought, well, maybe it fell. They were trying to help. And then I had to go to another meeting, and they said they were going to look on the cameras that evening. So I came back, and so I called my spiritual person that I work with, and I told him, I said, that tobacco tie is gone. Like, what could have happened to it? Why did it disappear? Like, I was trying to figure out, like, what if they took it? All my prayers are in there, because I had that pouch for a while. And so what I would do is I would pray, offer my prayers, and stick it under my pillow before I went to sleep. So I probably had this one for about 3 months at that time, the one that I had. And he said to me, sometimes that tobacco, it's time for it to do its work. And you can't hang on to them pouches too long. Most of the time, like if we make these and we offer prayers, we'll hang them up in a tree or hang them up outside somewhere. And you can hang these outside your door for protection as well, in a tree in your house. So I said to him, I feel really sad that all my prayers were in there and that tobacco is gone. Well, when I came back, I talked to the hotel people, and they said, the only people that entered your room were the housekeeping people. And he said, we contract with Native women to clean the room. And I'm like, really? And he was like, yeah, women who come out of prison get cleaning jobs, Native women, and we hire them to clean the hotels when they come out to help them get back into society. We give them a job here. And I was like, oh, okay. And I thought, well, they'll know what that was for then, because I figured nobody else is going to know what that is, right? And so when I talked to the spiritual person, he said, that makes sense. Someone else needed that tobacco tie that entered your room, and that's why it's gone. Somebody else needed that tobacco. And he goes, but there's a lesson in this, is that you don't hang on to them too long. You make them, you offer them, you use them. You either put them out by a tree or you make your offering with it. He says, but they do have to do their work. It's a spirit, so it does its own work. So I just thought I'd share that story with you guys, because I was grateful to know that it went to where it was supposed to go at that time. So they are very sacred. How's everybody doing? Are you guys done, or you got them made? Yay.
Quick learners here.
Right. Yeah. Cool.
Some other people said not so much.
Hey, you know what, you guys, I'm telling you, I've been doing these with the kids for a long time, and there's some other styles that we do that are kind of a little bit more rounder. And every time I do it, I learn something new. Every time I have to start all over, because it's just one of those things. And this pattern I found is the easiest.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, once it's made, if you you can put your tobacco in there and sage or sweetgrass, and when you're done, smudge it off and have good thoughts. And I
Oh, go ahead.
no, I should say, I forgot to say that.
Oh, Wendy Deathridge asks, is it supposed to have a handle? So like this part is supposed to be like
Yep.
you can show Suzanne.
Yeah. Yep. It should be long enough, like the one I made today. Some people want them longer, and you can make them short. Mine will can hang over my neck. As you can see here, as far as it goes, so yeah, like it'll just hang down. I have one that's shorter like this one, and I have it hanging in my rearview mirror in my car. It stays in my car all the time. And I take tobacco out of it when I see an eagle or I see an animal on the side of the road. I take it out of this pouch and I throw it out the window and offer my prayers for it. So it's really depends on how long do you want it.
Mm.
So do we leave these connected or can we separate them?
You can separate them. I just gave them to you. I just did it in a 4-pack to be sacred.
Or colors. Yeah.
And to do the 4 colors, but you can keep them as is or you can separate them.
Yeah, you can separate them. And you can gift them to people. Once you offer some prayers in them, if you want somebody wants to do, you want them to do something for you, or if you want to offer to somebody for prayers, or you can gift them away or hang on to them. But just don't hang on to them too long. That's my story. But you can ask your elders or your spiritual people, or we're all learning. So I don't ever want to say one way is the right way or the wrong way. That's not how I work. So
Looks good to me. Yeah, there's all kinds of different ways to make them too. Like Suzanne was saying, one thing I tell people about anything, like whether that's teachings or how people do stuff or whatever, like just because it's different doesn't make it wrong. Like people, like all our tribes like learned things so differently, or like had like just slightly different ways, almost like the Ojibwe dialects, right? There's slightly different things. Like it's Ojibwe as a whole, but there's different dialects depending on the area. Like there's different ways people did ceremonies. And so like if you learned it a different way, that's okay.
yeah. Peyton, did you send this with them?
Yeah, I did. Yep.
Okay. So this kind of gives you a little bit of story, and a little bit of the history. And like I said, and every tribe is different, and you will talk to different spiritual people and they'll have a different way of doing things, and that's okay. I was just teaching you what I was taught as an Ojibwe woman, daughter, sister, like just the way I was taught. So
How
and I
many
love
different
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
I was
No,
just
go
gonna
ahead.
say, I love how like the first one you make, you're gonna be like, oh, and then you'll make one again, and pretty soon you'll be adding beads to it, or you'll get creative and start drawing, or I've seen lots of really fancy tobacco pouches.
How many kinds of tobacco are out there? Or like, is it bad like if somebody has like commercial tobacco, like that, if that's all they have, offering that to like elders and stuff? Or?
No, so lots of people still use commercial tobacco because it's what's available, and we still, if we have to, if somebody gives you commercial tobacco, you need to use it. You need to offer it and put it back out there, because that's what you were gifted with. There's no shame in using it. If you have to, it is what it is. But I encourage you, if you want seeds, let me know and I can send them to Peyton, and Peyton can send them to you guys if you guys want seeds. And I think we might even have some DVDs left on how to grow it, but otherwise you can go to our website. And maybe that's something that this spring Peyton can do, is we could do a tobacco planting lesson, because it's really simple. We want to do it would be during the full moon. I believe it's during the full moon. And like I would say to start in probably May, April or May. I mean, you could even start now if we wanted to, but you would have to keep them inside and keep them under a grow light because they'll sprout out. They'll take about 4 days to germinate, and then then you keep them inside until about June is when you're going to put them in the ground.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I have some questions about tobacco seeds on my thing. So if you guys want them, then just I'll write you guys' names down and I'll follow up with an email. And then I'll connect with Suzanne and then we could like mail them out or something. So,
Yeah.
Just send me your guys' emails or your names if your name's not right on your like thing. Does that make sense? Like if
Right.
name is user versus what your name is.
In this lesson, when you guys are done, something I do is we usually do a meditation piece with the kids afterwards. I'm just offering that if you all want to try it, we can. If not, when you're done and you're done. Everybody's busy, so I understand. That's just part of the lesson, but I just wanted to offer that piece.
Do you like outgrow a tobacco pouch? Or like, can you have this forever? Like, is there a
Nope.
time when you get a different
Yep.
one?
You can have it forever.
Can you gift it away? Or is that something where you should like not?
No, I think you can give them away. If you choose, you can make them and give them away, or you can give yours away. I've seen that too, so
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And some like I have many of them. I have one that hangs in my room. I have one that hangs in my car. Yeah. Nope,
Yeah.
you want to do that yourself. Peyton, did
So-
you offer anything before?
Yeah, so for the tobacco, what are they called? Gosh, not pouches, ties. For the tobacco ties, yeah, I did. But for the tobacco pouches themselves, the ones that we're just making right now, whenever I did do everything, I did smudge everything down. But now that you guys have created it and put your own energy and stuff into it, you wanted to smudge it again yourself. When you place the tobacco in the pouch, does it go directly in the pouch or in something first?
No, it goes directly in the pouch. I've even had some people add lavender to their, they can like make a mix of lavender, sage, cedar.
Has anybody made one before? Have they made a tobacco pouch before this?
No.
No. Somebody asked, what's lavender good for?
Lavender is good for like calm. It's a calming herb. And it smells really good. It helps with anxiety. Yeah, it's a really good, it has like a calming effect to it.
The tobacco ties, so the tobacco ties are different than the tobacco pouch, right? So this is the tobacco tie, like this string of the 4 colors is different than the tobacco pouch that we're making. The ties themselves, I just included just giving you guys tobacco just for coming.
Tobacco
Yeah,
ties.
I just included them in the kits just because I wanted to give you guys tobacco, but I didn't want to like give it like loosely or like in a plastic bag or something. So I just made tobacco ties for everybody. So those, like, you can use those, you can offer those yourselves. Like, I included a sheet in all of your guys' kits specifically about tobacco ties as well. And like you can offer those to the elements as well. They're made with all 100% cotton.
So
And you-
let me show you this. So the pouches that you made are a certain way, but I carry my tobacco sometimes if I don't have it in the jar. You can make, see how you're making them little pouches? You can get some leather and you can make tobacco bags, like they're like bigger pouches, like you see on that picture. And this is what I'll carry my tobacco in when I'm carrying it around, going from doing different lessons or teachings. Like I'll keep it all in here. And this is just a bigger tobacco bag or pouch, as if you want to call it, but yeah. So when I started doing this work, I was gifted with a bag, a quilted bag. In my quilted bag, I keep my shell for smudging, my sweetgrass, sage, and I have different colored tobacco ties, and I have an altar, a square altar that I use when we're together. We get in a circle and we do the ceremony in there. So I keep all my sacred items in this bag. And so when I work with the kids and I do the youth and I do teachings with them, I create little kits for them. They get their own little bag to keep their shell, their sage, their sweetgrass, and their medicines in, so that they know where it is. Just to kind of get them in that practice of having it and having their own.
Any other questions or anything about tobacco in general, Susie's work that she does with the task force or anything like that? Are you guys interested in doing the guided meditation? Takes like maybe 15-20 minutes. It's cool. Maybe a thumb, can we do reaction? Maybe a thumbs up for yes.
All right.
Got some thumbs up here. Okay. Sweet.
Sweet.
Even if one person did it, I would have said, let's go. All right.
All right. Are you guys still making them? Or are you ready to kind of start that part? I tell the kids all the time, like, meditation has been around for a long time. It's just done in different forms. I think whenever we're in ceremony before we start, we're meditating, because we're sitting still, we're thinking, we're breathing. So I'll just take this time to just do some little breathing techniques with you. And so we're just gonna start off with I want to wait till you guys are done. I always usually play some powwow music in the background. Because for me growing up, that was my go-to. I don't know why the sound of the drums always made me feel really relaxed. The sound of that beat, the beat, the noise just always made me feel like I was at home. I can find a good one here. Okay. So first, we're just gonna start off with if you just kind of get relaxed in your chair and close your eyes and just kind of get relaxed and um, try to settle your mind down from all that we just learned and just get relaxed and take a moment and just kind of breathe in through your nose and push it back out. Now you should really feel that in your stomach. When I say breathe in, blow it back out, you should hear it. It should sound like the wind. Breathe in, blow it back out, and then breathe in. Blow it back out. Just continue that slow breath. Continue to breathe in and out. I'm just going to play the music. We're just going to try and relax our minds.
Say it's all right.
Right, that's right.
Say it's all right. Have a good time, 'cause it's all right. Oh, it's all right.
That's an ad playing, sorry. And just continue to relax and just breathe in out and try and clear your mind. As you're still sitting there thinking and you're trying to not think and you're relaxing and you're breathing in and out, think about the very first time you ever saw tobacco. Was it commercial tobacco? Was it traditional tobacco? Go back where you grew up or where you go back home and think about where you saw it. What were you doing? What was the smell like? What was happening around you? What do you see? Who's talking? Who's around you? I want you to just think about that for a little bit and then I'll tell you when to come back to the room. Okay, slowly wake up yourself and open your eyes and take a couple deep breaths in and out. Kind of get that airway moving again. And then sometimes I'll ask the kids to, what we'll do is we'll draw it out. We'll draw what vision you saw. We take some time and they draw it on paper, what they saw when they were meditating. And then we usually share that. But I know we don't have time to draw. So if anybody wants to share how they felt or if they had a vision, we can do that too.
Thought it was interesting because for me anyway, well, I had two thoughts come to my head because I didn't know which one came first. And one, well, and maybe it's because I'm biased because I've done this curriculum with Susie. So like, no, we talked about these things. But one thought was when I was like at a ceremony but we had like cigarettes, like they gave us like cigarettes out at the ceremony to like use to offer. And I thought that was interesting just because like, I don't know, Susie kind of talked about that, how people would use cigarettes because you couldn't like, people didn't have access to like traditional tobacco or people didn't know or whatever. It's easy to have a cigarette. And like before when it was like illegal, that was like the most covert way to kind of like offer up your prayers. And so like that's kind of like where this like commercialization really got heavy. But so that came to my mind. But then another one where like we're like little kids like finding those like little cigarette butts, and that's so nasty. Like, it's just like these like ways that tobacco gets like introduced to your life, like when you're like super young. But yeah, so somebody else can share a story if they want.
Stealing your parents' cigarettes out the ashtray and buying yourself them when you were little. I remember that.
Or
Does
if you guys
anybody
want to write them in the chat too, like if you feel more comfortable doing that rather than like talking, that'd be cool. Also, if you don't have.
Oh, we need some socializing and some chatting, you guys. Come on. Stuck on these Zooms. I know you're dying to say something. All right. So how I would like to close then, if you guys don't have any other questions or anything. I would like to close with, I'm just going to offer a small prayer. I just want to, and then energy is everything. And we can heal ourselves lots of times with our own energy and our minds. And breathing is one of those things. Like stress creates a lot of chaos in our bodies that we can't see on the outside. And each time we're stressed or angry, our blood vessels constrict, our oxygen gets less and we can't breathe, and it gets harder for us to breathe. So it's really good to, even if you just do 2 minutes a day of what I just did with you, that deep breathing, time yourself on your phone if you have to. If you just take 2 minutes to shut the world off and not think about anything else, it's really good. It just really helps. And then the other thing is energy. I did some training around some Reiki training, and one of the things I learned is that you can, if you have pain anywhere, if like you take your hands and you place it where the pain is, and you hold that energy there and you pray during that time, you can heal that energy. You can heal that pain, I should say, by putting that energy there. So if your heart is heavy and you're sad or you're worried about something, you just have this heartache. It's really, if you take your hand and you place it across your heart and you close your eyes and you sit there for 5 minutes and just listen to the heartbeat and then pray, that will help you. Our body knows what to do when it needs to, and our own energy helps that. So I've gone through a lot of grief lately. I lost my son in November. And it's been really hard. I've always believed in that power of prayer and tobacco, and I was second guessing things for a while there. Just feeling angry, just feeling sad. I've gone from up and down, from sad to happy to angry. Trying to find that normalcy again. And I would think when you lose somebody and there's grief, not sure if you're ever really normal again, but you find a way to deal with it. You find a way to grieve. And so I've been doing a lot of the breathing techniques when I'm in that from 0 to 10 all of a sudden, and then also placing my hand on my heart and just thinking about my son and just trying to, like, because heartache is a real thing and depression is a real thing. And I just, so I really been trying to focus on that and practicing that. And then again, reaching back out for that tobacco and asking the creator for help, or asking those spiritual people that are, ancestors that pass on, to be here with us, to be here with me, to help me. Go to the water and offer that tobacco to those water spirits and ask them, take away my grief, or take away my pain, or take away this trauma, or help me. A lot of times we can get stuck in our own trauma or our own depression or our own, if we get stuck there, we stay there. So offering that tobacco and taking that time for yourself for healing and self-care is so important. It's so important to do that, to reach out and to say that and to feel that, to sit with it, to, nurture it and yourself, no matter what it is you're going through. And so I would just like to offer a short prayer for you guys. And, if you want, place your hand on your heart, you can. If not, I'm okay with that too. Everybody does things different. So, Buju, Nias, and just a cause, Megasi and Dodam. I want to say miigwech for this evening. Miigwech for everybody who's here today to make tobacco ties with us. I ask the creator to watch over them and answer all their prayers that are in those tobacco ties and to keep them safe. And for Peyton guiding us today and helping us and creating this session, I'm so grateful. And just grateful for this breath tonight and to be able to do this teaching with all of you. Miigwech, amen. So, miigwech to all of you. Thank you. Thank you for the space.
And then I'll